So day 49, EOC bell ringer reviews. Let's keep going. Equation of a line that is perpendicular. So as soon as you see the word perpendicular, we're training ourselves to think opposite, reciprocal. Now, visually, that means these two lines intersect at 90 degrees. 90 degrees. Intersect at 90 degrees. So perpendicular means they're going to cross. The cool part is if you do have a calculator or you can use your Desmos, you can literally use the corner of your paper to make sure that is a 90-degree intersection. And if it is, if your scale is correct and it's not skewed, you should see a perfect 90 degrees. Now, also, your opposite reciprocal slopes is very important. So first of all, we know we got to figure out what the slope is. This is in standard form. Not going to help us with slope. We'll get to the passes through part in a minute. So let's put this in slope-intercept form. So 4x plus 3y equals 9. So we need to get y by itself. So we're going to subtract 4x from both sides. So we end up with 3y equals 9 minus 4x. When you get the y by itself, so we're going to divide by 3. And we end up with y equals, if you want to put it in the correct order, negative 4 over 3x and a positive 3. So that is the slope of the given line. So the slope of the given line is a negative 4 over 3. So if the slope of the given is a negative 4 over 3, we need the opposite and reciprocal. So that means it's going to turn positive, and then it's going to flip over. So what we're going to use is a positive 3 over 4 for our slope for our new line. It needs to pass through our negative 2, 3. So that's x. Let's see if I can use another color to make sure we're good and keeping up with what I'm doing here. And then y. So we have 3 equals our slope. Our perpendicular slope is 3 over 4 times a negative 2 plus b. Because we don't know what our y-intercept of our new equation is. So that's going to give me 3 equals a negative 6 over 4 plus b. From here, we're going to add 6 over 4. Now, this is a throwback reminder. To add a fraction to a whole number, and I'm showing you in the event you do not have a calculator. That means this fraction, this whole number 3, so 3 over 1 needs to turn into something over 4. So I multiplied by 4 to get the 1 to a 4, so we're going to multiply the 3. It's going to be 12 over 4. So plus 12 over 4. So we end up with a positive 18 over 4 equals b. That is not cute, but that's okay. We're going to write it as is because all of these are in standard form, so we're going to move it back in standard form. So I now have my new equation is going to be y equals our perpendicular slope, which is the opposite reciprocal of what we originally found, x plus 18 over 4. Now, that's in slope-intercept form. To get the 4's, because they are both over 4, this could also be written as y equals 3x plus 18 all over 4, because they are both over 4. So I can get that 4 off the bottom, because over here, the 4 is attached to the y, right? So I now have 4y equals 3x plus 18. Now here's where it gets funny, and you have to pay attention to what you're doing. This answer, if I move the 3x this way, 18 is positive. So if you jump for the first 18, they got you. Because the 3x here is positive, and this 3x would have to be negative. So it looks like they moved everything in the other direction. So I moved the 4y over, which would be 3x minus 4y. And then for that to be a thing, the 18 has to come to the other side, which makes it negative 18. If we did it the normal way that we normally do it and just move the 3x over, none of your choices again work unless you multiply the whole thing by negative, which is the same, negative 1, which is the same thing as it flipping sides or across the equal marks. It's just changing the symbols of all of the ones above. So your answer should have been A, 3x minus 4y equals a negative 18. Your backup option, if you do have Desmos or a calculator, put this equation in. Go plot a point right here. And then see which one touches it. Done. And it does have to cross the original line at a 90 degree again. So in your calculator, again, you can put this one in and just go down your line and put each one in, but make sure it crosses through that negative 2, 3 point, and make sure that they intersect at 90 degree angles, a perfect perpendicular angle. All right, data again. So you're going to put all of our data into the calculator. Also, just for our conversation of mean, to make sure we remember in case this ends up on an inactive portion as well, I'm going to put it in order. So 5, oh, 3's first. I'm not doing a very good job yet. 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, 9, 10, 11, and 12. You're going to put all that in your calculator in your list 1, or add it all together and divide by the total number of terms. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if I add them all together and divide by 9, so the sum divided by 9 equals the mean. Or again, put it in your calculator. And in the calculator, the mean as is 8.2 repeating. And then the median, which again is just your middle term, which we can count in here. So if I go from here to here, 2n, 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 middle number, so our median is 9 when they're just as they are. The question tells us to add a 45. So again, we're going to add our 45. So it's going to be the sum divided by 10 now, which is going to give us a mean, a new mean. It's going to be a lot larger ideally because this is 45, which is definitely an outlier relative to our data that was there before. So our new mean is 11.9. And then we're going to count in again to find our median, or use your calculator. And so the median is in between the 9. So 9 plus 9 equals 18. Divide by 2 equals 9. So the median is still 9. So the mean and median will both increase. That's a no. Only the mean. The mean will increase and the median will decrease. The median did not decrease. It stayed exactly the same. So our answer is going to be C. The mean will increase and the median will remain the same. All right, literal equations would be the notes that you would have wanted to use for this. So literal equations. And that is no one's favorite that I've ever taught before, but that means we are just rearranging our equation to solve for the letter it asked for. So it looks like we need to solve for P. Which formula will determine the number of printers purchased? Printers, P. The other way you could know if the words don't make sense is all your answer choices start with a P. So we're going to get P by itself. And remember our great divide. So nothing, everything that when it crosses that line, it has to be the opposite. You can't just sling things around, get rid of equal marks, move equal marks. You have to do mathematical calculations. So I'm going to subtract 581s from both sides. So it's going to be T minus 581s equals 150p. 150 is attached by multiplication, so we're going to divide by 150. And you can divide each one, or you can divide the whole thing, however you want to write it. Looking at your answer choices, though, this one is missing the 150 from the 581s. This one is missing the 150 from T, which is a problem. This is perfect. And this guy, they just did wild stuff. And they just basically moved that 150 off the P magically, however they felt like it. So that's not mathematically sound. 2 more. All right, hopefully this one wasn't too scary. This is a calculator inactive, so no calculator allowed on this guy as well. So equal. So we are going to multiply all the way through. So 2x plus 16. Then we have minus 4x equals 10x plus 4. We're going to clean up, combine like terms on each side first. So if I owe you $4 and I pay you $2, then it's going to be 16 minus 2x equals 10x plus 4. Now we need to get our variables on one side and our whole numbers on the other. Again, the great divide, if it's crossing over, it has to switch signs. I'm going to work towards the positive x. So I end up with 16 equals 12x plus 4. Great divide. We're trying to get x by itself, so we're going to subtract. So that box around there lets you make sure if you're getting confused, that 4 has got to go. So we're going to subtract because it's positive, and that's going to give me 12 equals 12x. 12x is multiplication, so we're going to divide by 12, and x equals 1. None of those numbers are crazy, guys. This is a perfect, super gifty kind of calculator inactive equation you might have to be able to solve with no calculator. So practice, practice, practice. All right, interpreting our graph. During which interval did the tomato plant grow the fastest? So grow the fastest is going to be the rate of change, and that means it's going to be the steepest. And that means the number is going to be the highest. So the rise is going to be the highest over the run. So the highest number that we have in this options. You can do it by counting is probably going to be the easiest. So 4 to 6 is 1 to 1. That's a 1 to 1. Rise 1, run 1. 6 to 8 is 1 to 1. So 2 over 1 is 6 to 8. 8 to 10 is 1, 2, 3 over 1. And then 10 to 12 is 1 to 1 again. So 8 to 10 is the 3, because remember, anything over 1 is 1, 2, 3, 1. Your highest number is your answer. So between 8 and 10, it grew the fastest. That's why that line is increasing the most quickly, or is the steepest of all the portions of that graph as well. All right, guys. Hope you got it down.